Hey, this is Chris. That is Angela, right?
Yes, I'm
Last time I
Angela.
checked.
Yes.
This is the Spice
Spice.
Ho.
Oh, yeah. Life. Yes. Come on, give me some more.
Give us some more.
Come on, come on.
Don't we try? You can't find. Remember that song?
Yeah, I
There's
do.
no shame. Okay, so
Okay,
as you can see,
we're excited.
well, how you doing today?
I'm doing awesome.
You're doing good?
Life is good. Life is good.
Life is good.
It
Life
is
great.
what
How
it
about you?
is. That's life.
She has a shirt that says that.
Yes,
I saw it today.
that helps you get through the day.
And you may say, what shirt say what? It is what it is.
It is. Yes, exactly.
But yeah, that's true. But what does the it is what it is?
Yeah, it is what it is.
Who's on first? Anyway,
Ooh, yep.
so people have probably watched a lot of episodes and
Mm-hmm.
know some stuff about us and things we think. But what really is the line? What is your business, my business, our versus, how you doing? How's it going?
Yeah.
And, how far does that go and where you communicate with people? Because that depends on a lot to me.
Yes, it does. It
Yeah.
could be a perspective because some people would feel that they're not getting into your business, but you feel, hey, that's personal. Get out my business.
Yeah, a lot of it is comfort and trust,
That's
and
true.
what level of your friendship is with someone, and have you been burnt before, and so on and so
It's
forth.
true.
And what do you consider to be business? And so, I mean, there's so many dynamics to that,
Mm-hmm.
and that can all stem from when you were extremely young and coherent to wherever you are now.
Yes.
Yeah, I think all that starts from a very young age.
I do because, your life
Yeah,
is, you think about your development when you growing up, what your environment was, how
Right.
you grew up does affect you as a person.
right.
It does.
Yeah,
Now we all had parents that like always said, get out of grown folks' business.
uh-huh.
So some kids knew, hey, let me not be too nosy. I'm asking the wrong questions. I shouldn't be asking a grown up these personal question.
Sometimes it's just staring at the face. I didn't even, my mom and dad, they can be talking to people or somebody over the house, and I'm just,
Yeah.
they be
That's
like,
true.
my mom, hey, look at my mouth. Go get out of here. And
Yeah.
get out of the room. So, yeah, you don't even have to be a question said. It could just be, I'm being nosy maybe and not even realize. At that young age, you don't
is
even
so-
know you're nosy.
That's so true. Because
That is a form of nosiness too.
yeah, I was told that too.
Get
Get up out of here. Get out of grown people business.
Yeah.
Because you're just staring. Because what you're doing is listening. You're being nosy as a child. Listening to the tea of the grown people,
But you really wasn't paying attention. I wasn't paying attention, but it looked like I was. It looked like I was being nosy. But you asked me anything about then, I couldn't tell you. I don't know what.
Yeah.
Some people can. You can ask somebody, reference something. They be like, oh, yeah, I remember. I do remember, but I remember the conversations that was said towards me.
Yes.
I don't remember conversations between other people.
That's true.
But yeah,
true.
but those kind of things start developing, and how you respond to even simple questions like how you doing. Somebody asks me how I'm doing. Most of the time, my response is I'm okay.
Yeah,
I'm good. I'm all right. How you doing?
exactly. But how far do you go?
That depends on the person. Some
Like,
people feel
okay,
compelled.
you say, how are you doing? But then you say, well, then you try digging. Wasn't that you I saw? Blah, 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 blah. Or weren't you, they start digging a little bit deeper. Okay. Sometimes people don't want to, let's say they're not having a good day, but you're not the person that they usually talk to really tell them exactly what is what. So you will have to accept the fact that they're doing okay.
Yeah, a lot of responses depends on the situation, the person, the question,
Yeah.
the timing, of where that person is. So say for instance, I'm in a bad mood and something bad just happened and someone's want to conversate. it may be short because the person may not know all my situation, but how I'm responding, they end the conversation quickly, like, and they may go on about the business, but that's because I'm not in a good place or whatever.
Yeah.
But if let's say I'm in a great mood and somebody say, how you doing? I'm like, I'm doing great. And this just, I can go on and on. So it really depends on so many things
Yeah.
when it's people start asking, how's it going? How you doing? What's up? And all
Yeah.
that.
And also trust too. How much do you trust this person to tell? How much do you tell this person? Also, in the past, have this person been a person that you trust to tell something to that they wouldn't tell, anybody else? Especially if you're a very private person, because that could damage a potential friendship. That could damage a friendship. That could damage a lot, when someone knows that you are known for what they call it, rambling off at the mouth or talking too much. There is a song, or from a long time ago, about 40 years ago. It's by Run DMC. They say you talk too much and you never shut up. So some people have those type of personalities that people think, that they are that way. So nobody trusts them, even if they tell them, or if there's something wrong. Those kind of people, you be like, I'm doing great. I'm doing just fine. And you?
Yeah.
So,
Some people
yeah,
don't know that they're talking too much. Some people may purposely do it, but I find that most don't know.
right.
Most don't know. Or they don't even have to be a person that talk that much. They just happen to say one or two things they probably shouldn't have said.
Yeah.
And then they might be called a big mouth.
That's another song.
Or that one go, a big mouth.
You got a big mouth. um, Very
you know what I just thought
interesting.
about? And I was talking to somebody else about this. There's songs for everything.
Yes, there is. Like we can just go on and on for days.
Yeah. Well, you talk too much.
And
Big mouth.
that is another song. On and on and on and on.
I mean, there is a song about picking boogers. I'm
Yeah.
not making that up.
Yeah.
And I digress on that. I'm not going to say nothing else on that.
I'm sure.
I'm just saying there's songs about everything.
I'm sure the younger generation are going to Google that. So, very interesting. So basically, that's what this show's about. We're going to be talking about, my business. I mean, people, from different walks of life, they consider, personally, and also there's a general synopsis about when you're going too far as questioning people or want to find out about certain things, or when you are talking about certain things about people that it's probably going a little bit, a little overboard, if that makes sense.
There are some people that, to me, in my opinion, don't know how to. There's a lot of us that struggle sometimes with socializing and and it all depends again on what's going on up here. So even some that may think know how to talk, it sometimes is crazy because some people think that what they ask you is like that's how you start conversations.
Yeah.
Instead of, some people don't say how you doing. Some people literally can start off, once they know who you are, they'll say, well, what you do?
Yeah.
Now, and to me, it's like, that's how we starting off a conversation. It may be perfectly normal to them, but I'm guaranteeing you some people like, that's off-putting.
Personally, I don't like people asking me about what I do, especially if I don't know you. Even sometimes if I know you, that question to me is just very personal.
I'm breathing.
Yeah, because it's like, what do you do for a living? I breathe.
Right. That's how I live.
That's exactly what we do. You breathe for a living. Yeah, you breathe to live.
That's why it's more better. It's more, makes more sense to me to say, hey, how's it going? Or how you doing? How you feeling? It shows that it's more concern for the person, how was your day? But yeah. And then you have to decide how much you want to say. You have to decide what's yours.
Yeah.
Business.
Right.
Because there are some people that just love to, and I think that's a name of a comedy special. Run tell that.
Yeah. And one of the things that you hate to happen is what you say to people goes and it gets construed differently than what they heard. Like you didn't even say that, but they'll go and tell something, tell the business, they go and tell the business to somebody else and don't even,
Perception and assumptions, which is
yeah.
another whole subject
And then what
and
happens
topic.
is the other person, they take it not taking it the way it really is from what you told the first person, but then the second person go and tell, and they got a different story too because they assumed whatever the first person said was correct, but it wasn't. So it's a lot of stuff that just get all out the way. So if you're on the receiving end of that, yeah, thoughts and prayers go out to you because I know that is a really bad feeling, the bad place to be in, especially if things get out differently than what than what it really is, than what the truth really is.
Yeah.
So that's why this show, we thought, this would be a good show, not only for the ones that are running telling businesses, but for other ones that are on the receiving end of that. What can you do? I know I said something about it is what it is, but also like for me for example, if something, if that happens to me, I know I would say it is what it is because people take, what people say, they'll make it their truth or make it their perception. But what can I learn from that the next time? What can I learn? Number one, I know who did I say that to? Are they trustworthy? Or do I just get a general perception of just, let me tighten it down a little bit as far as how much I tell anybody or say anything to anyone. So, but yeah, this is an interesting subject, and it is something that is personal between, you as far as how you are as a person, how much you want, to say to others, especially when you're going through stuff, you got to know who you can trust and who you can talk to.
Yeah, yeah, you definitely got to know who you can trust and who you can talk to. That depends on a lot. It was something I wanted to say earlier, but trust and depending on who you talk to is
Yes.
very important. And I think that kind of what a lot of how you respond to stuff depends on. So
Mm-hmm.
to me, it's comfort too. So what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm over time, I would say I've become different. I've changed even over the pandemic.
Yeah.
I have changed as far as my communication with others. You know, the pandemic has taught me a lesson. I had time to think about some things. Really, during the pandemic, we couldn't really communicate much except, with those in your household, if you think about it. But you get used to, being within, which is good. You got to know yourself better. So certain things that I, think about and, how I am, how I'm going to be, once the pandemic, winds down and we getting out there, how much I'm going to communicate or what I communicate to, because we're talking about, and me and Chris always talk about self-care and taking care of yourself and not getting overstressed. I think that when you talk about your business or you talk about how much of it you're going to tell, that is part of that because that could stress you out if things get out that you didn't want to, or even if it was minor, you're like, oh, why this person telling everything that I say to them? I just
Mm.
told this to them, just because I didn't say don't tell it, you shouldn't tell it. You shouldn't tell it. Conversation between two parties, not everybody else, So, yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I think it's important in conversations to try, for the most part, to refer to what's going on with you. Your business. Try not to even if it's somebody that not the besties with, just to me, it's just better on you
Mm-hmm.
to be more stick to the scope of things. Now, you may say something in concern. So you may
Mm-hmm.
say something like, man, I wonder how so and so's doing. Have you talked to so and so? That's different. But, when we start saying certain things and talking about people, we gotta be careful that it doesn't turn into slander and things like that. And so it's good to stick to, if you're gonna you can talk on general subjects. Now we're talking about sometimes what's going on like with our friends and family, kids and stuff. That may be different, but we talking about more like a whole separate individual that's not really connected.
Yes.
So it just depends on that kind of
Mm-hmm.
situation, what we're going to do, and how you communicate with somebody.
Yeah, that's true. And yeah, but sometimes, you get in those conversations and
Yeah.
you just
Well, it
talking.
may be comparing notes. Comparing notes, you just making sure something out. But you listen, you prefer, and we talking about two different things to a certain degree. Like, well,
Yeah.
me and you talking about the exact same thing, but
Yeah.
you comparing notes about something, and then, but if it's something you really want to know, this is my recommendation. Go get that from the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you compare notes, you're just verifying something that was told to you, is accurate, maybe from the horse itself, and
Yeah.
then like, no, so and so told me this, and so so that could be, that's where things can get interesting anyway.
Yeah.
But I'd rather you ask me something than just assume and then everybody having a stare off.
That's true.
This just, like a lot of people, especially even in our generation, my opinion, it's good for just leaving it undone, leaving it like with assumptions and not accurate or whatever, hearsay. And so conversations
Yeah.
are not had when you can just go and ask, hey, is
Yeah.
that true?
That's true.
If it's bothering you enough, if it's not worth repeating or talking about, don't talk about it. So anyway.
Yeah. And another thing too is if somebody says something to you and you run back and tell the other person, and now there's what you call it, a negative vibe between those two people because you went back and said something that they said, that is not mind of your business.
Yeah.
Why would you go back and say something that someone said which is their opinion? That is not cool. Who want to hear that? Like if somebody come to me, I don't know.
I don't even want to hear about me from some second.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, because think about that person that coming to tell you about what somebody said about you.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of person are they? Why would they come back and tell you that?
Now,
So
if they told me somebody said something and they defended me, that's different. They're
yeah.
like, man, this was said, but I said, and I was like, okay, well, that's good to know. But if you said something happened, you sat there and let the bashing go, and you call yourself, I guess, my friend, now things get complicated.
Yeah.
And they think they're doing you a favor by letting you know that, and you still friends with this person, that could cause more complication with the initial friendship and all that, because we talking about my business.
Yes. Because that person, we're just talking to you, not talking to them. We're talking to you. So you don't go and leave and tell anybody that, that conversation could be like negative towards, or they can consider negative towards. Because sometimes people joke and they can take you the wrong way too. You could be joking about a situation and you don't mean anything by it. But if you tell somebody else, they're going to really get offended by it. When you were just joking to somebody else that you really wasn't expecting that to get back to. But anyway, I guess that could be a different show.
Yeah, it is.
That could be a different show.
Subject.
But in regards to business, my business, personally, and I would say this, if you know that you don't want it to get back out, especially if you don't know anybody, you guys just got to be basic. And you got to know, if you're not, some people talk to so many different folks, but, I consider us, we're a little bit more introverts, I would say. We don't too much talk to many people. So, it's like we are very keen to what we say to others.
Yeah,
So
learn lessons.
you learned lessons.
But at the same time, I try to, if I even hear something, I try to not assume about people.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm so concerned or I believe I've formed some thought in my mind to clarify it, I would have a discussion with that person if it's important. If it's not, then I'm gonna just go by what I was directly told versus what the hearsay or what I'm believing in my head, because it's just going to do nothing but cause unnecessary stress. And I'm not going to repeat it because it's not true. I haven't verified it. So even if I did, I'm not going to repeat it anyway.
Yeah, and only when you're told something by somebody else that you like, oh, okay, that happened to me too.
Yeah.
That's legit.
And that's usually why people tell you something.
Yeah.
Like when certain people tell you, when you're told something, and let's say the information may be connected to someone else that's a friend of yours. It's not for you to defend the friend or to jump on board with the person you talk to and bash the other person. The goal is to try to support who. Obviously, they're saying something of concern. So then what they're looking for is a support, not a solution, not for you to totally agree, definitely not to disagree, just support.
Mm-hmm.
And usually that's how it go. And it doesn't require jumping on board with what they're saying or saying anything negative to add to that. Most of it's just listening and saying, okay, well, it'll be okay. You know what I'm saying? And usually people forget that. This is people in general. They go into solution mode, or they feel just to be friends with you, they'll jump on board and get their bad as well. And none of that is necessary because you're talking to, and now one of those two could relay that to someone else.
Yeah.
And now we could have a problem. So it's best just to stay neutral.
Yeah. So if you are a person that someone confide in, you have a very important job there is not to go back and not to go and run tell that.
Yeah. And we talking about just general stuff.
Yeah, we talking about general, yeah.
That's like, whoa, what?
Yeah, yeah.
Wait a minute, you did that? No,
we're talking about general stuff where
lawfully you may have to say.
Yeah, but we're talking about stuff that like, just
personal information and
just
something
little personal
like that,
stuff, not nothing, because it's like you want to have people that you can confide into. Like, you want to be able to talk about stuff and you have to worry about it getting back out, because some stuff could be embarrassing. I could be talking about woman stuff, hormones. I could be talking about cycles or whatever. I could be talking about anything in regards to medical condition. Why would I want somebody else besides the person I'm talking to, because I'm talking about personal stuff? Why I want somebody else to know that? I didn't tell them. If I wanted them to know, I would tell them myself, but just be mindful. Be mindful to, just keep things, to yourself. And then let's talk about the people that like to question you, like the FBI.
Yeah, I talked about that at the very top. Nosy people.
Yes, let's talk about nosy.
They don't know they're nosy most of the time. Sometimes they do.
Yeah.
If you're being told you're nosy, or by friends or family a lot, I wouldn't take it jokingly. I might check into that and say, because that's not like a trait of endearment. Yeah. You might want to adjust that.
Exactly.
You don't want to be known for that.
Exactly.
Now, it's a line between people, remember I said nosiness and then sincere concern. And some people think they sincere concern. They just nosy. They don't care. They'll spread your business. They don't have your best interest in mind, but they ask you questions and stuff like that. So just be careful, because you got to keep, we just talked about, you got to keep your peace. You got to keep your things from stressing you out. And I find that it's best for me to say less.
Exactly. You're more at peace of mind when you say less. And also, too, when you are conversating with people, sometimes I'll be questioning, even if I don't say too much. I'll go back and say, did I say too much? Should I have said that? But hey, it is what it is. I said what I said. And I would say this for those that question a lot just to be nosy, do some self-examination and try to figure out, man, why do I want to know so much about this person? Why can't I just, why, or else why am I questioning other people about this person? What's going on? You need to do some self examination because that is not healthy. It's not healthy at all.
I agree. So that's something that you have to evaluate. Um, and you know that. So and it's on you as a person too to kind of evaluate that from a person. So sometimes if something get out there that you didn't, you feel bad about, you might say, "Man, I misjudged this person," and you hopefully get better. You
Yeah.
don't want to keep running into people that are like that. That might be something we need to adjust. Like, oh, I need to change that. Cause
Yeah. And let's say you were told something about someone and you don't even know them at all. You haven't conversated with them. You're just going by what somebody else say. That is not healthy. That is not good either.
what you mean?
Because think about if someone said something to me about
Mm-hmm.
somebody I don't know
And
them.
you going by what they say?
Now I'm going about what they're saying. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
taking the time to get to know this person really because I constantly have a negative connotation about someone
Okay,
that I
now that
don't
makes sense. So
know.
you
That
going
is
by
not
what
healthy.
they say, and
Yes,
you taking it as fact, and you're
right.
reacting,
In a
and
negative
so
way.
you're treating this person some kind of way, even though you've never really met them or know them. Oh
Exactly.
man, yeah, that happens a lot too.
That is not.
That's
Yeah. The
that's
reason why I
whack.
say it's
That's the
not,
best way
it
I can
is
put that.
whack, and the reason why I say it's not healthy because there is a negative thing that you're having in your head about someone that every time you see them, there's a negative vibe. Negativity is not good for your health. So let's get to know people before come to a conclusion. Because I would say this 100% is that everybody is not treated the same way by people. I could know someone that treats Chris differently or treats me differently, then you could absolutely have a great relationship or friendship with someone that I or somebody else that they don't mesh at all. But you having a great friendship, that's fine. But I'm not going to tell you negative stuff about that person because you guys have a great friendship. Why should I be concerned? And why should I be the one to say something negative about that? I might give you my 2 cents, but it's not going to be in a form of me bashing someone. I'm going to promote whatever, positivity there is to be, but it is not my place to be totally negative about someone that I don't know or I don't mesh with at all. It is what it is.
Yeah, and you want to make sure you speak. If this person's a friend, speak of them like a friend. Like me and Angela, kind of like best friends. So the most you may get out of me is me saying, "Man, I think Angela's upset with me" or something like that. But it is in no way my best interest or Angela's for me to say something negative, like bad or mean about her. Um, Especially someone that's my friend and you love them. So that's the way mates should be anyway. But even friends. So if you kind of build that barometer from there. Now, some people may say, well, if you're just joking. Okay, if you're joking, you need to clarify that.
Mm-hmm.
If you say something jokingly to another person, make sure, oh, I'm just joking. This person is really like this. Because if you don't correct it or you leave it undone, that person don't know that a person like that. Now they got that in their head. Like Angela said, they can go around thinking that because they ain't the only person to verify truths. They just go by some second or third hand information, which is the worst thing to do, in my opinion. It's a very bad habit to do.
Exactly.
Yeah. I avoid doing that. If I don't know who the person is, but I hear something, but I don't know it to be fact, it's like it goes through one ear and out the other.
Right.
I don't hold on to foolishness like that because I don't know that to be true.
Exactly.
Plus, it's not fair. Like I give you a chance. I like deal with you one on one. I may not even have to talk to you. Like just to, you know, the words or lack thereof is what I go by. Not from what somebody here say. That's not fair. So I try my best to avoid doing that. I can't think of any recent time of doing that, but if I do, I'll try to correct it.
Yeah. And you have been. Christopher is very good about that. He's better than me. I learned from him. He has helped me because
That's funny.
I'm telling you, this, he's helped me. He says he's my best friend. And it is true. And I'm telling you, he's helped me a lot in how to manage certain things or aspects in regards to people management.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll say people management.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate people that are that do respect privacy, your business, my business, your business, her business, his business, they business. I appreciate people like that. This is the end of part 1. This is the spice. Oh, life.